And welcome everybody. I will call to order the regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, May 30 of 2023. We would ask that if you have any type of an electronic communication device, if you please put it on silent or vibrate. We appreciate that courtesy. I had mentioned a couple meetings ago that I shouldn't have all the fun up here. I want to share the wealth a little bit. So I asked each of my colleagues if at a certain point in time they would like to chair the meeting. And we checked with the solicitor, and we're within our rights to do it this way. So today, Commissioner Burek is going to take over as the chair for this meeting. He obviously has experience in that realm, having been chair of the board back in the 1990s. And then at some point in June, Commissioner Spilvo will do likewise. And of course, she has a lot of experience, particularly since she has chaired prison board for a number of years, and she chairs the opioid advisory board. And I'm probably forgetting a few other things that you've done. So with that, Mr. Burek will now take the role as chair of this meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Vogler. Let's proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Ask Vanessa to please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel? Here. Commissioner Burek?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
We have a quorum, full board today, so we'll proceed. If anyone from the public wishes to address the board, they may do so at the beginning of the meeting and then also at the end of the meeting if anyone else comes in. We will give that opportunity. Next item 2 is raw officer reports and comments. Seeing that we're officers present, we'll move on to public comments. Anyone want to speak as a member of the public? Hearing none, we'll move on to fiscal and contractual. The only items on their fiscal and contractual are the warrant registers dated May 19th, May 22nd, May 23rd, May 24th, and May 25th. Give the commissioners a moment to look that over. Warrant registers are prepared by the Controller's Office, the checks that are issued to pay county bills.
I will move for their approval.
Is there a second?
There is a second.
Any discussion, questions, comments?
No.
Hearing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Burek?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next item on the agenda is the minutes of last week's meeting, Tuesday, May 23rd. Again, I'll give my fellow commissioners 2 minutes to look over the minutes. Whenever someone's ready, they may make a motion to approve them as submitted.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments, or corrections? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Burek?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Okay, presentation of written communications. We have 2 letters from Frank B. Taylor Engineering. The first one is a residential sewage treatment plant letter to replace a malfunctioning septic system currently serving the existing home on the property located at 1211 Blue Sky Drive in Newcastle, PA 16105. That's in Neshannock Township. And the second one is also from Frank B. Taylor Engineering for Harbor Mobile Home Village and Terrace sales for water quality management permit amendment to modify the existing water quality management permit for the Harbor Terrace Mobile Home Sewage Treatment Plant located at 1551 Harbor Road in Edinburgh, PA. That's actually in Union Township. Any questions or comments on the presentation of written communications?
I will move that they be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, staff reports. We do have two staff members from Lawrence County Government Center present. Either one of you have a report or you're here for specific resolutions?
For a resolution, sir.
All right. Move on then to commissioner reports and comments. And today we rotate the order. This week, Commissioner Loretta Spillvogel goes first.
Very good, thank you. I just wanted to note that this weekend, there were many different Memorial Day, whether it be a parade, service, ceremonies throughout the county. I know we all tried to make to the different ones that we possibly could. For myself, and I know Commissioner Buick, you and I were at the courthouse on Saturday morning. We had the Lawrence County Veterans Council had a service, and it's always very well done. The small march to the bridge for the laying of the roof, the wreath into the water is always very nice. I want to applaud the Newcastle Area School District Band for always being there to participate. You know, it's sometimes difficult to get, especially a nice day, a weekend, to get the kids to be there. So it was very, very well done. Then on Monday, I was in Mahoning Town for their program that they have, a wonderful program. They take great pride in it. The Blue Coat Band was there. It is something that's being brought back to the community, that the band actually marched from the St. Margaret's Club to the memorial at the bottom of Montgomery Hill. It was very, very well done. So I wanted to comment on both of those. And briefly on Elwood City, I'm sure Commissioner Vogler will expound on that. I made it there at the tail end of it. You know, apologies for not being everywhere. I know there were other events that were going on, but we should take pride in the fact that there are so many communities that make the effort to honor our deceased veterans that we have. So very, very well done. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Spillvogel. I'm on the order to be next. Two things I wanted to mention. I'll just follow right up with her comments. I was able to attend the Memorial Day service here at the courthouse on Saturday. And every year the folks that participate do a great job. And again, echo her comments. I want to thank the Newcastle band. My son, he's now in college, but he was younger in high school. He was in that band. And every year they do come up and play and do a great job. The Nctv45 Singing Society was there and added music. And the speaker did an excellent job as well. I was just curious, you know, you drive around, you see names on the memorial at the base of Courthouse Hill and various places throughout the county. I inquired of the Veterans Office how many Lawrence County residents were killed in action. And we don't have a complete total, but just during the 20th century, from World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, just from those four armed conflicts, over 565 Lawrence County residents have been killed in action. And that's, for a relatively small county, that's a lot of people. And I'm glad the commissioners were able to, at the various places around the county, join in with our fellow citizens and recognize the ultimate sacrifice made by Lawrence County residents. So I am, and I'm sure you all as well, forever grateful for the sacrifice of our veterans who gave their lives in service to our country. And then I'll turn the final commissioner comments over to Commissioner Vogler.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you both. It's challenging that with the number of Memorial Day events that take place, we can't get to all of them, but we certainly try. And I appreciate both of you being here Saturday morning. I was out in New Bedford, out in Pulaski Township, Saturday morning for their parade and Memorial Day service, which was held outdoors. And then on Sunday, there was a small, very nice service in the village of Pulaski, also in Pulaski Township. It was held out on Route 208. And then Commissioner Spielvogel referenced Elwood City on yesterday, a well-attended parade, very long parade, well-organized parade, a lot of people, and then a very meaningful ceremony next to at the little Veterans Park next to Christ Presbyterian Church. And the one, unfortunately, that none of us were able to get to just because of our schedules, they had a ceremony out in Bessemer as well.
Yes.
I've been to that in the past, but unfortunately, some of these tend to conflict with one another. So we'll try to, if we're here next year, we'll try to get to Bessemer next year. So fortunately, the weather was beautiful, and all of the services were very moving and very meaningful. The only other item I'll bring up, I spoke with Controller Prestipine last week and asked him to give us an update on where we stand here at the county from a fiscal standpoint at the end of April, April 30. We should be at 33%. That's a third of the way through the year. The good news is our revenue is actually in at 47%. Now, that's understandable because during that time frame, the discount period was in effect. So a lot of people come in and pay their property tax prior to the end of the discount period. But the good news is that revenue is in at a substantial rate at this point. Now, it'll slow down in the summer, and then it'll pick up again in the fall. And the other piece of good news that as of April 30, according to the Controller's Office, expenditures stood at 30.8%. So expenditures are running under budget at this time, and that's a credit to all the folks that work here. So we've so far this year had some good news from the fiscal standpoint. We just certainly hope that it continues. That's all I have, Chairman Burek. Thank you.
Thank you both. Just one final note, I recall at Saturday's event in Newcastle, the ladies that ran the program thanked the county maintenance department for all their work. As I mentioned last week, both the big flag out front and all the smaller flags have been replaced, and the courthouse property has always looked very, very beautiful and fitting for the Memorial Day program. Just wanted to acknowledge our maintenance staff.
Yes.
May I add one more thing? I just remembered something, if you don't mind. I do want to note, last week, again, we were pulled in a couple different directions, but Commissioner Burek and I attended the quarterly meeting of the West Central Job Partnership Governing Board, which consists of the 6 commissioners, 3 from Lawrence, 3 from Mercer County. And the meeting was in Mercer County. It's a public meeting. Commissioner Spielvogel stayed behind, and you were helping with Chad Strobel's exercise as far as, do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
The 911 emergency management systems, I think it's every 2 years, 3 years, go through an actual emergency exercise where the incident command system is brought into play, and the team of leaders, the leadership meet at the command center, and that is at the 911 center. And as I'm trying to say these things, but I'm thinking when I was there, watching it take place and have things happen. And it's a drill, and it lasted 2 hours. And it was an actual emergency. There was a tornado, there was flooding, there was an explosion. So many things happening as a result of an emergency that a lot of different systems were brought into play that they were staged phone calls coming in from residents from different areas saying these things were happening and going on. You know, unfortunately, there were fatalities. Unfortunately, there were, and need to have refrigerated trucks brought in for the bodies. You had to have, as the commissioner being there, I had to do an emergency declaration for Lawrence County so that FEMA and PEMA could be activated to have those systems in place. You had the fire departments, ambulance services, everyone had a role, and every update that was needed, that was given, the boards were activated, they were handwritten notes, everybody had to give updates at certain periods of time. And all while this was going on, there were observers checking off the boxes that needed to be checked off to make sure that we were doing everything that we needed to do. And I happened to be, I don't want to prolong the meeting, but to the extent that I happened to be in the command center in the back, and our director, Chad Strobel, came in to answer a phone call, and it happened to be from a borough that was, they needed assistance badly, that they were very understaffed, the flooding was out of control. How could he get anybody in there? And Chad did not know that this call was coming in like this, and to just be there to witness him responding to that, saying what he would do and how he would do things, and the fact that, you know, maintain what you have, and as we can get help there for you, we will do it. Letting them know what was happening in other parts of the county, just unbelievable how that all came into play. I know that it sounded muffled, or it sounded a little bit convoluted as I was getting it out, but just putting myself back there in that room and watching this all play out, there were updates for hospital beds that were available, the ambulance services that were available, trying to get people in from Beaver County, from Mercer County to assist. Phenomenal. I was so glad that I was there to be able to do that. And I know that Chad and staff did appreciate the support. So thank you for remembering that.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
going on our behalf. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
No, thank you. I actually had wanted to mention those as well, so thank you very much. And thank you, Commissioner Spillvogel.
Absolutely.
We're very lucky that with her many years in career in law enforcement
Yeah.
prior to her service as commissioner, she was great, and we appreciate it. Great to have her there and represent the Board of Commissioners since we had that meeting in Mercer County.
Yes.
All right, any other commissioner reports or comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. We have 6 new resolutions on the agenda for consideration. Vanessa, what would be the first resolution for CYS? What would be that number?
153.
And we have Mr. Russo from CYS.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
So this is the resolution to ask permission to, for approval to post, or put up for bid the sale of Chevy Cruze that our office currently uses or can use. It is considered in poor condition at this point. The engine is shot on it, and it would cost more to replace it or get it back on the road than it's actually worth. So they're asking permission to post for bid.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 153 to post for sale a 2012 Chevrolet Cruze vehicle that no longer worth fixing for CYS?
So moved.
Second,
I'll second if you wish to ask a question.
questions or comments? Go ahead,
Thank
Mr.
you, thank
Vogel.
you very much. And this goes, my pitifully poor memory. We recently sold 2 other vehicles. Did that process involve the controller's office in any way, shape, or form? I can't quite recall. It hasn't been that long ago, but it
Just when
See, Vanessa's shaking her head.
The bids came to the controller's
the
office.
bids did go to the controller's
They
office, so I'm
always have.
assuming that's how this process works.
Correct. It states that in the posting.
Oh, in the posting. it does.
Okay,
Oh, you know
there
what?
you go.
If I'd have turned the sheet over,
Oh, Dan.
I would have
it's-
seen that. So,
We're confused, that's okay, because
I-
we had too many days off. See what a long weekend will do to us.
you're right. Nope, it's all there. Thank you, Vanessa.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, any other questions or comments?
Now here's a comment, because the vehicles that sold several weeks ago, we almost second guessed ourselves, thinking that maybe we should sell them for scrap ourselves, because that's what maybe the person that got the 2 bids, they actually will get more scrap in them than what they paid for them. I mean, I don't know if this qualifies for that, but I know we had spoken about it before.
I think it's worth seeing what the bids come
What
in
they
at.
come
We
in
can
at.
always,
We
if
can
they're
reject
super
them.
low, somebody may
Okay.
buy it for parts if they have that vehicle and buy it,
True.
you know. But no, I agree.
Okay,
With the price of scrap metal.
good to see you.
All right, the next 2 resolutions fall into the area of planning. Next one will be resolution 2023-154, and I welcome Ms. McKinney here from the planning director.
So the first resolution would be, where the county would enter into an agreement with Delta Development to serve as a, contracted consultant to help us with, grant writing. And project implementation based off the goals that the county commissioners see for the county coming up here in the next couple of years.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 154?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments?
Just briefly, I'm looking forward to getting them on board because I know the presentation that they made outlined so many different things that they would be able to assist the county with, especially with the large amount of monies that are even currently being made available through different ARPA fundings, the infrastructure monies. So we want to make sure that we get our share of those.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you. I have a couple questions and then a comment. Amy, this is considered a professional service, so it did not necessitate a sealed bid process from what I understand.
Correct.
But am I correct in the knowledge that your office did look at a couple of other options?
Correct, yep, we did, and we received another proposal from another consultant,
Okay.
and then reached out to some other ones, but from the two that we received, Delta was the best one we felt to go with.
Okay, appreciate that. I just wanted to make sure for the record that it's made clear that, again, since this is considered a professional service, it does not require a sealed bid, and that you, in fact, your office, in fact, did look at other options and concluded that this is the best one to enter into an agreement with. The agency Delta we're talking about is based in Camp Hill, just outside of Harrisburg, and I do know that they do have a long track record. I believe they were organized back in the 1980s. So they've been around, and as you noted, they can work with your office in identifying grant opportunities, in assisting, I'm assuming, with the application process for those grants, and any other advice and consultation that they might be able to offer you. So I'm appreciative of all the background work that you've done, and that's all I have, Chairman Burek.
I'll just comment that due to the federal legislative and funding opportunities that have presented over the past year or two, and our limited staff in our current planning office, this agency, Delta Development, did submit a presentation. We met with one of the senior vice presidents, and he gave examples of projects they've done for other counties. And I believe we've consulted with several other counties, and they come highly recommended. So for those reasons, I'm going to support the resolution. Any other final comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Buick?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Next resolution. Resolution 2023-155 for discussion and possible approval to allocate $250,000 to the redevelopment authority. Ms. McKinney can give a little background information on that as well.
Yep, so this would, there should be an agreement attached as well. This is what we've been doing with our ARPA funds when we enter into, when the commissioners have been allocating funds to other agencies, municipalities. So the redevelopment authority has requested $250,000 to assist with redevelopment and initiatives in the city of Newcastle. One being the demolition of the First Merit building. But also possible demolition in other areas in the county where Elwood City Borough would qualify to use demo funds out of the ARPA pot of money. And then also some possible funding for a facade grant in the city of Newcastle. So this resolution would approve those funds, and the agreement would be entered into between the county and the redevelopment authority. And these agreements have been looked at by Jason And then the one we've been using consistently with all of our allocations. Okay.
Did we have a motion to adopt?
No.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any other questions, comments, or discussion?
Just briefly, again, it's moving things forward, assisting municipalities when they come to the commissioners for assistance in any different way that we can help them with. We are certainly open to doing that, and having the funds available makes that an easy lift for us. So looking forward to helping the city as much as we can, and the other municipalities. I know you mentioned Elwood City, and wherever else there may be assistance needed. Thank you.
If I may, thank you. One question, are these dollars, to your knowledge, coming from the restricted funds? Okay,
Yep,
thank
and
you.
that's all eligible uses, and it's confirmed with our auditor, before we approve it.
Great, I appreciate that answer, thank you. And it's also my understanding that the city council of the city of Newcastle has indicated that it's their desire
Yes.
to have the First Merit building demolished. And they would work, the city would then work with the 5 members of the redevelopment authority in your office in coordinating that effort. Is that my understanding?
Yep, we actually already have a meeting set up with RER, their engineers. I'm gonna go down Thursday morning. Because there's a lot of logistics that go into demo a building such as the First Merit. So we're gonna work with RER to kind of go over those logistics, get stuff set up. And RER is the city's engineer.
And then finally, thank you. And then finally, that piece of property on North Mill Street has been in the county repository because the owner has been delinquent in the payment of property taxes. And is it my understanding that the city has requested that a hold be placed on that parcel, and that we've concurred with that request?
So the city requested that a hold be put on it, and the redevelopment authority put the hold on the property. We have this, since we have the powers of the land bank. Our solicitor, Jason Medor, your solicitor, the commissioner's solicitor, recommended that the redevelopment authority be the one that placed the hold on it. And we did so, it was right after that meeting we had with them, so I say about a month ago, we had that meeting, so there's been a hold on there since then.
I was just trying to, for the record, enter in some of this background. I hope I haven't overlooked anything.
I will add that I did attend the redevelopment authority meeting, and that it was properly approved through their process as well.
Thank you very much.
Any further comments, questions, discussion? I'll just say that I believe it's a good use of these funds to work with our local municipalities to remove blight of abandoned and neglected commercial buildings that are now posing a safety hazard, and by removing them, we'll be able to open up the opportunity for new ventures, new developments, and progress. And I think visually that's very important to get rid of a building that has become an eyesore and a danger to the community. So I'm going to support the resolution. Final chance, any other comments, thoughts, discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Buick?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Okay, that was resolution 155. All right. The next one, actually, Amy's office is involved in as well. This is resolution 156. Discussion and possible approval for liquid fuels clarification for Wayne Township Greenhouse Road Bridge. Now, my understanding, I'll let her speak to it. My understanding is the county previously approved funds for this project. It was to be from the Act 13 Marcellus Shell impact fee allocation, but the state, the funds that were drawn down actually came out of the liquid fuels fund. Is that correct?
The way the resolution, Dave Christopine came over to me and wanted to ask, the way the resolution was written, it was coming out of our, was it
Act 13
Act
Marcellus
13
Shale.
Marcellus, but when Wayne Township did their application, they did all the liquid fuel
Correct.
paperwork. So this It's just fixing the resolution, saying that it's coming out of.
Gotcha.
It's
liquid
easier
fuels.
to change the resolution rather than
And all the
having
paper.
PennDOT change it on their end.
Right,
And
So-
it's fine to do it that way on our end, so.
Yeah.
Right, this is, so like you said, this resolution is the correct, that the paperwork was submitted through liquid fuels. Both of those funds are allowed to be used for, that road and bridge project. So this is just correcting, makes our records match
Yes.
what was actually,
So
submitted to
they
the
can
state,
pay
to
it.
Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, so the controller's office can pay the, allotment out, so.
Correct, yeah, this resolution will basically replace the one from last year, so.
All right, is there a motion to approve resolution R 2023-156?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further questions, comments, or discussion?
My understanding is that the project itself is
Yeah.
complete. And that the bridge is now in place and the road is
Yeah.
reopened,
Yep.
so that's good news for the,
yeah, and what happened was
Residents.
Wayne Township wanted to figure out how they could go about getting paid, and Dave
Yeah.
went down, he's like, well, I can't pay it, because they're giving me the liquid fuel stuff that the resolution says,
Right.
so we worked it
So
out.
now they can be paid.
So many moving parts.
There is.
So,
Glad we were able to correct this.
Yeah.
yes.
Thank the controller's office for bringing that to our attention.
Right.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Buick?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
yes?
Motion carries.
Resolution 156 is adopted. The next one. Number 5 under new resolutions, that would be resolution 157.
Yes.
Okay, this one would be a supplemental appropriations transfer, increasing the prior year balance of the demolition revenue fund by $7,000 and increasing the redevelopment authority demolition expense fund account by $7,000. Amy, can you give?
Yeah, this is the Act 152 request, $100,000 that you, the three of you approved and signed off on. But when it was budgeted for this year's budget, at the time, there was only, I don't know, the Commissioner Boyd had only put like 90,000, and there's roughly 135,000 in there now. But in order to meet our request of the 100,000, Dave just needed to do the budget amendment to increase. by
So
7,000.
additional revenue has come in and we just have to transfer it so it can be spent. Is
Yep, so we can stay, Right.
there a motion to adopt resolution 157?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Buick?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next we have 3 administrative transfers in our budget from the MHPS, from the MH Community Employment to the MH Respite Program for $20,000. Next, voters from contingency to printing of ballots for $16,000. And third one is DA from part-time staff to salaried staff for $10,646.35. Joe, do you have any
No,
feedback on that or
well,
explanation?
the very first one is, from mental health. Basically, at the beginning of the year, when they do their budget, they're on a fiscal year, which is ending June 30th. At times, you anticipate a higher spending in one area and a little bit less in another. What they're doing here is moving, community employment dollars just over to respite. What respite serves as is, it is a break for families who have a intellectually disabled child, where they could actually have a sitter possibly come in to the home and stay with the child while the parents go out and the family members go out. Or sometimes it even becomes an overnight stay type of a residential setting for just a very short time, but maybe 1 or 2 nights or weekend. A wedding out of town, things of that nature. So they're putting a little bit more money, $20,000 into their respite line item from community employment.
Any questions on any of the other items? I have no problem with any of these transfers.
Just, and I think I know the answer, but I need Joe to confirm it. On the one for the voters, that 16,000 is coming from their contingency, is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All three of these are from within those departments' budgets to other line items within their budget. So I'll entertain a motion to approve those three administrative transfers as listed.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any final comments or questions? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Buick?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
That completes the section under new business. We do have one resolution on the table. Is there any desire to take any action on removing that from the table for consideration? Hearing none, we'll move on down to ordinances. There's no ordinances for discussion on the table for introduction or for final action. So that brings us to final announcements. The next commissioners meeting will be held 1 week from today. That is Tuesday, June 6, 2023 at 10 a.m. right here in the commissioners meeting room. The public's invited to attend, and we will also live stream that as well on our YouTube channel. There will be also a retirement board meeting that normally meets quarterly. The next one is scheduled for next Tuesday, June 6, 2023, immediately following the commissioners meeting here in the commissioners meeting room. And then that's a busy day as well, because there'll also be the next meeting of the Opioid Advisory Committee at 12 noon, Tuesday, June 6th, here in this meeting. Right. Any other announcements from the commissioners or the county administrator? Hearing none, there's no public left in the meeting, and so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned.